Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be kind of going back through my evolution of bullet journals. I got this idea because everyone's kind of planning for 2023, what they plan on doing for their journals, what they plan on using for their daily functional planners. And I thought I would go back and kind of look and see what I did in the very beginning versus how I've kind of evolved and what I plan on doing in 2023. So if you'd be interested to see all of the different types of planners I used, you know, the layouts, what I liked, what I didn't like, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so I have planners from 2019, 2020, 21. This is my current 2022 planner. And then this is my Hobonichi 2023 planner. So what I thought about doing is we're going to start from the bottom to the top. So the first planner that I ever really used, well, that's not right. So the first like functional memory keeping type planner I used was from August to December of 2019. I did use planners because I'm a very organized, obsessive, like I like checklists and I like to-do lists and all that kind of stuff. So I've always had planners, but they've been more tied to like work related activities. So in 2019, this was the first year that I ever thought about doing like a functional memory keeping type planner. So I ended up using this. I just kind of went to Michael's and I found this planner, and this was more of, it's just a lined like journal. And I'm sorry for any lighting. It's kind of a weird day, so the lighting is very off. So, so in this planner, I pretty much just like cut and paste different things that I thought I might need. I did like to have throughout my entire planner, I did like to have pictures of things that happened during that month. So you're going to see that as something that I started back in 2019, and I do plan on continuing on until 2023 and probably even after that. So I started out with, you know, this pretty much I always have a monthly monthly calendar. And then this one I started doing like things to do, some goals. This was, I might have to blur out some of this stuff. So if it's blurry, I'm sorry. This planner I use for home personal memory keeping along with work. And I thought this way I could have like my work notebook along with like pictures of my family. But I quickly realized that it didn't make sense for me to keep, because I wasn't going to go back into my work notebook and look at pictures of my family or vice versa. So I did this from August until December, and it pretty much is just all of my notes from work. And then I would have like up top some like dentist appointments or, you know, whatever the case may be. And that was kind of how this planner went. And so it was functional. I kept this pretty much at my work desk in 2019, but it wasn't something that I felt comfortable like writing personal notes in. I didn't want to merge them too much into that. So it was, I liked it. It dipped my toes into kind of planning and thinking about what I wanted to do in the future months and years. So, ooh, hello car. I'm sorry if you heard that. So I liked it. I did like dipping my toes into this and kind of figuring out what I wanted and what I didn't like or did not want. So this pretty much I went through December 30th, and then this rest of this is empty. So this was kind of my intro into planning and into kind of figuring out what I like and what I didn't like. So this was 2019. Then we went into 2020, and for 2020 and 2021, they look kind of similar the way I did things. So these both of 2020 and 2021 are both bullet journals. And in 2020, my daughter got a hold of it and decided she wanted to draw all over all of my pictures for the first, I think she got into this in April or March. And so she kind of had a field day with some of my stuff. So in 2020, because it was a bullet journal style, I tried to figure out the layout that worked the best for me. So as you're going to see, I kind of did trial and error, see what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted to track, what I didn't want to track. I did start doing habit trackers. As you can see, I did not follow through on any of my trackers, essentially. I tried all sorts of different layouts, what I wanted to include, what I didn't want to include. And so it was definitely me trying to figure out what makes the most sense. And I think that's what's most important when you're looking for a planner, is go in understanding that you have no idea what you want. Like, you don't know until you're planning what works for your life and what you think is important to keep in your planner. So like, I would have, my cleaning, which I obviously didn't keep track of. I tried to keep in touch with, or all of the appointments. And like, this whole week, I didn't do anything. It wasn't, and I think the problem with me at the very beginning in 2020 is that this was not open and at my desk or in my presence. And so I would forget about it, and I wouldn't do anything. So I tried to figure out in 2020 and 2021, it was a lot of my journal is just kind of going back and forth. Me using it, not using it. In April or May of 2020, I decided I was going to try to do like a brain dump or like a note section. So that way I could have just one overarching section to put notes, because I didn't feel like I had enough space in the weekly planner. So, I tried that. You can see I kept this layout fairly consistent for a while because it was the easiest and it allowed me to use my washi. I'm not artistic at all. So I did try drawing, and it failed. I don't know why I attempted it constantly, but it just doesn't work. I'm not an artist. I'm not creative. I'm a very simple black and white type person, and I do not have that creative gene in my body. So a lot of the drawing, I got ideas from YouTube or Pinterest, and some worked and some didn't, and that was fine. And some, like this week, I literally did nothing except for bought school supplies on the 11th. So it was trying to figure out if I even like this. So in 2019 was my first year. 2020, this is me kind of going forward, seeing what I liked and if I want to continue. Sometimes I did not use my planner at all. Like, it was just, I did easy lines just to say I had a plan, or so I could set up my week, but I wouldn't do anything with it. So I flip-flopped. Sometimes I used it, sometimes I didn't, and that's fine. And through all of this, I figured out kind of what I liked and what I didn't like. I also went from, in 2020, I was previously printing out pictures and taping them. And then in November, I went and bought the Intax printer that had like the what are these called? The Polaroid type pictures. So I started using those. And so, it was me trying to see, what worked and what didn't. So that kind of took me through 2020. And then in 2021, I feel like I got a little bit more into journaling. There were still some days and some weeks that I didn't do anything. This is kind of a lot of the same. In 2021, I did want to try to make a conscious effort of trying to write down and use this as like a memory keeping, so I could write down some things that happened for that day or that week. Just so that way I can kind of go back on, because I have, a small daughter. I have 2 daughters, and I wanted to remember some things that were going on in their life. So I did try to make a conscious effort of trying to journal something really quickly. There were definitely some days that I did a lot, and then it kind of fell off again. So yeah, so a lot of this 2021 is very similar to what I did in my 2020 2020 bullet journal. It was just me trying to figure out my different layouts, what type of tracker I liked, what I liked to be tracked, and just kind of what makes the most sense for me. And that's 100% the most important. Don't try to, like, this month I was watching Amanda Rach Lee, and I love her channel. She's very artistic. She's a great bullet journaler. And so I would watch her channel and try to get ideas, but I couldn't do anything that was too artistic because that's just not me. So I did find that she did, I think in August, a like back to school type layout. And so with that, I was able to take like sticky notes, and I did something kind of similar, but not 100% like it. So I drew inspiration from others, but I kind of had to tweak it to what made the most sense for me. So again, I try to do, this type of layout with little notes for what happened during the day. And then I didn't do anything for this time. And then I had October, I tried to do like a black paged theme with like orange writing, which really stuck out. I really do really like it. And then November, I went back to what I did before. And then I didn't do anything in December. It was, again, I just kind of fell apart, didn't use this anymore. So then this is my current 2022. This was an Amanda Rach Lee undated journal, one of her journals. So I really liked this idea because I could still have my journal and write down things, but I did not have to be artistic. And I thought this would be great for like those adult coloring books where I could color in, some things, and I thought that I could personalize it that way. So the thing about this one is she does give you some, a blank page that you can write down notes or whatnot. But all of her days look exactly the same, which isn't a bad thing. I did definitely start using my my daily kind of tasks as a task list in this planner. So I definitely use this a lot more than I did in the past. And I did try to put like different pictures that happened during that week. But the problem that I had with this is while it's very artistic, I also am not creative, and I would get bored coloring. And it's the same picture over and over and over again. So once you color it once, it's like I colored this last week. I don't need to color it again. I would get tired coloring. Here, actually, could I zoom you in? I'm sorry if you're too far away. But I would get bored coloring. And so you'll see once it gets to like July, I think, or around here, this is when I just stopped coloring. But I did like the tracking. I kept up with a lot more of my trackers this way. And so I definitely liked that it was already pre-done for me and I could just use, what I got and make it beneficial for me. But it still wasn't 100% of what I'm happy with. But as you can see, I do use this a lot more. Like this is my current month, November. So I do fill these in a lot more than I did. But I think 2022 is going to be the last year I use a bullet journal. Actually, it is going to be the last year I use a bullet journal because if you haven't seen any of my recent videos, I have decided that I'm going to step away from bullet journaling and instead I'm going to do a Hobonichi. So I'm hoping that this kind of gets me the best of both worlds. I get my monthly tracking, which I always had in my bullet journal that I really enjoyed. I get my, I'm using if I can get to it, I'm using this as a habit tracker, so that will get me my habits that I've been tracking pretty consistently in 2022. It gets me a good idea. I thought it would be I'm super interested to see what my weeks look like when I actually plot it out, because then I can put down, I worked from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then from 5 to 6 I did this, and 7 to 8 I did this. It would be interesting to kind of see how that works, so I can really plot out what I do during my day. But what I'm super interested in is me being able to have a whole page dedicated to, notes, doodles, journals, anything that I can do for that day. And then I have a place that I could put, if I wanted to put a picture for what happened here, because the problem with what I'm running into in my 2022 is I don't really have any place here that I can put in pictures without completely completely covering a full day. So let me go back to like December. So in December, if I wanted to take a picture for Christmas, I could, if I wrote anything on this Christmas day, I didn't want to put a picture here because then it would completely block it. So the only place I really have to put a picture is right here in this one. So it's been difficult for me to try to put pictures. Like here, I try to put a picture down at the bottom. So I didn't block the text, but I still had a picture here. So what I'm excited about is in this, because I have a full day, I can put down, you know, multiple pictures potentially to document, you know, memories and things that happened for that day. So I'm very excited because I think this is going to be a great way for me to kind of do everything that I've realized I liked in my bullet journals, but I just couldn't execute it to the level that I wanted to. So I'm hoping 2023, this Hobonichi will do everything that I need it to be. The only concern I have is I work a big chunk of time. Like I work 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday. And so I'm afraid my week is going to be very boring. And so I don't know if I want to put down my like work meetings in here to fill up some of this space. But if I do that, then I don't want it to be back to like 2019 where I had work along with personal. So we will see. I'm very excited. Like I said, I've kind of tailored what I like from my 4 years of bullet journaling and doing, you know, blank bullet journals, then Amanda Rach Lee's undated bullet journals to try to figure out what makes the most sense. So I'm very excited. Come December 26th, I will definitely be cracking this up or cracking this out, pulling this out, whatever. I'll be pulling this out so that way I can start actively using it and then seeing what I like and what I don't like. I do plan on doing in March, I created this. On the back, this is kind of like my plan of where I'm going to list all of my YouTube's videos that I'm going to post. I do plan on having like a 3-month using the Hobonichi Thoughts video the end of March. And then I'm going to do a mid-year and then also another video to talk about whether I'm going to continue in 2024 using this Hobonichi. So definitely make sure you subscribe so that way you can see kind of what my thoughts are and whether this has done everything that I wanted it to do for my planning purposes and what is important to me. And so with that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Bye.